So I've been following this chap called Lone Star. He runs a business called Lone Star Knife Supply, I think it is. So check him out. He's based in the US. What he was saying was he's running this new page on his website called the Back Door. His idea is that any sort of returns or blemished items, such as ones that he might have dropped during packaging, he will put on his website on this back door area and let people purchase them, which is obviously a great idea, and it's something that BMC is going to be working on as well, because we do have a few blades pop up that are not perfect but are still completely functional, and for a slightly reduced price I'm sure will go to a very loving home. However, one issue that this chap at Lone Star found was that on a Spyderco, which is a very expensive small blade, it had a tan micarta handle. This is micarta also, and he said he didn't feel comfortable selling that blade because there was a little bit of oil that had temporarily discoloured the micarta around the bolt head. And I know what he means, because it's not perfect and it's quite obvious on a very light tan coloured small blade, small handle. So I get what he means, but I have to say that for BMC and especially our bigger blades, which are in carbon steels, these carbon steels, this is SK5, this M51 Vanguard Golok, and SK5, you have to keep it oiled. And because I like stonewash finish, we have them all stonewash finished, which is, I think, a much nicer finish for a large, let's say, base metal coloured blade compared to satin. Because satin, I hate the way every time you sheath and unsheath the knife, you're going to be adding noticeable scratches to the blade. But anyway, I mean, even this one that I've been using all winter for trying to split these logs, this is a really knotty one, so it's not going very well. But yeah, I mean, I keep this oiled all the time. After every use, I'll give it a quick hone if it needs it, but SK5 is awesomely tough, so you really don't need to every time you use it. But you can see there's oil here, because even though this is PVD coated and then stonewashed, it runs a risk of corrosion. Also on the full tang part of the handle. Now, being black, you're not going to see it much. Anyway, I'm both getting to the end of the story and getting through the end of splitting. Now, I've been taking care of this and its raw stonewash brethren pretty well, so they're not corroding at all, but you have to wipe them down with oil after use if you care about them staying as in tip-top condition as possible. So before we send them out to you, because we don't always ship them directly to the customers, we do ship to wholesalers and retailers around the world, so we want the blades to arrive with you as the end customer in perfect condition without corrosion. So what we have to do is drench them in oil, and some of that will get on the handle. Now, this handle, I've actually just used a wet wipe, which I would not normally recommend, but seeing as this is my blade, I don't worry too much about corrosion. I also oil it after use every time, and I found that certain wet wipes are very good at basically stripping all the oil out of the handles and bringing them back to almost sort of factory condition. What it does is it seems to dry out the micarta a little bit. It makes it a bit lighter. It certainly takes on a less oily appearance, but I don't want to do that for you and then cover them in oil and send them out, because possibly introducing, you know, corroding wet wipe juice onto the steel, which isn't good. But I do want to send them out to you covered in oil, so that by the time you receive them, hopefully there's no corrosion on them at all. But as I say, that will seep its way here and there onto the handles. It's which is the lesser of two evils, really. It's, do you mind receiving a blade that is corrosion free but with a little bit of oil on the handles, which you can wipe off if you want to, or do we send them with no oil and risk it? Just wanted to explain that. So Lone Star Knife Supply, they're doing great things. I do understand why he's saying he can't sell full price his Spydercos with my Carter handles with some oil staining on, but I'm just here to say that for BMC blades, there's really no way around you as the customer seeing a little bit of oil on the handles. So I hope you're okay with that, and I hope you agree with me that keeping corrosion off the blade is better than receiving the blade with a little bit of oil on it. So anyway, that's enough talking. Let's see if I can finally get through this. I have been whacking it a few times, and it is just, I mean, you can see how knotty and gnarled it is. Look at that, all of the indents in it. I mean, I think it's a piece of Hazel, but it's very dense, and it is just knotted like some orc's face off of Lord of the Rings. We're getting there, we're getting there. When we get through some of it, the rest should just all split. There we go. Flip it over. It is basically all falling apart, but held together somehow by all the knots and gnarly grain swirls inside it. There's a piece. I mean, you can have a look there at all the how the grain's running. It's all over the place. I mean, I could just keep this for the bigger stoves, but see, now most wood splits really nicely. Grain runs more or less straight up and down the length of the barrel. This one, however, has taken a circuitous route. For whatever reason, maybe growing through bushes or hedges, and yeah, that just means that the blade doesn't go through nicely. It does track the grain, so as it deviates slightly from a downward trajectory, it just binds up a bit. Pretty normal, see that every now and then. There we go. Even that was really inaccurate. There we go. Okay, I think that's enough wood for today. I love it when it makes that like real twinging, really like it sounds like you're going through really nice high quality hard wood. Love that.